Okay, we just saw one of the most insane fourth quarters you will ever see in your football watching life. Let's start off here. Early on in the fourth quarter, it is a 17-16 game, a totally normal score, maybe even slightly on the lower side here. Brandon Aubrey, the great kicker for the Cowboys. You see, he's going to make this field goal, and from this point on, all hell would break loose. First, you would see a couple of long drives resulting in rushing touchdowns. Here, the Giants are going to go up 3 with that Cam Scatabo touchdown. Here, the Cowboys would answer for a touchdown of their own to retake the lead. Now, heading over to this situation, we're in the final 3 minutes of the game. The Giants find themselves down 4 points, 4th and 3. They're in field goal range. They could kick a field goal and make it a 1-point game, right? But that's probably not the right call. You don't want to have that happen. Instead, they go for it, and it's going to be Wan'Dale Robinson who runs a tremendous route. They're able to make the completion, get the go-ahead touchdown. Wan'Dale Robinson had a really good week 1, even better week 2 with this play. You're thinking, is that the game winner? Well, no, because Dak Prescott would answer with this nice pass to George Pickens. They get a touchdown on that one, so now the Cowboys are able to answer. They take the lead. The Giants find themselves really in a, almost Hail Mary situation, a desperation situation. 30 seconds left, no timeouts. The ball's at midfield. I mean, you're going to need a shot at some point. It doesn't have to be this play, but at some point, and they say, well, let's just try it for this play. Wilson is going to take the snap. He looks down the field, and you get to this spot right here. I mean, again, the Cowboys, they are not going to let Malik Neighbors beat them, right? That's kind of what they're thinking. Like, we're putting 2 guys on him. We're not going to let this happen. But the issue is just because you have 2 guys on him doesn't mean you can't throw it to him. Look at this beautiful pass by Russell Wilson, and what a catch from Malik Neighbors to be able to locate the ball. That's really the impressive thing. Just know where the ball is, be able to get over and make the grab. The Giants retake the lead. They have a 3-point lead now. But the Cowboys, despite very little time left, just get the ball almost to midfield, right? Because you have Brandon Aubrey, and what's something we talk about with him. He is one of the all-time great long-distance kickers. Well, this is a 64-yard attempt. Certainly no gimme. As you see, he is going to drill this kick. It looks like maybe it's going to go wide, but it does not hits. And the Giants and the Cowboys have both just with an offensive explosion, they both end up at 37, and now we have overtime. So we'll pause it here to set the stage. The Cowboys the Giants win the toss. They decide to kick it off, right? We saw with the Super Bowl with the 49ers and Chiefs, that's the only other time we've seen it with these new kickoff rules. The rules now, it used to be if you get a touchdown in the opening possession, you win. Now that is not the case. So the Giants say, well, okay, we'll give you the football then. Dak Prescott's going to take the snap, and you see a really good defensive play by Andrew Phillips on this one, able to deflect that one away at the sticks, and you're thinking, okay, Giants have the ball. They're probably going to win, right? The way these offenses are rolling, all they need is a field goal, because the Cowboys punted, like this should work well. Except you're going to see this is a fumble here. It kind of just slips out of Russell Wilson's hands, but it goes backwards. This is not an incomplete pass as it kind of looked live. It looked like it was deflected back. That's not what happened. So because of this is a live football. It was 2nd and 3. They had a real chance to just, win it right there. And now it's the Cowboys with a chance to win it. If they can recover this football, they're in field goal range and can just basically win it right there. But instead, really good work by Cam Scatabo on that play to make sure he, just keeps the game alive, essentially. It's a 3rd and 17. They ultimately have to punt a couple plays later, but they at least survive to play another series, essentially. Now they need their defense to get a stop. But as you see here, it's Elijah Garcia, the defensive lineman, who's going to do a great job rushing through. He gets a sack. There's then a George Pickens good play that was negated due to a penalty. So because of that, the Giants are going to get the ball back. Okay, there you go. So here is that situation. They go for a screen pass that doesn't really work. So now you have a 2nd and 13 play. So, not ideal, but still, again, just execute your offense, which was humming in the fourth quarter, and you will be fine. Russell Wilson takes the snap. He's going to fire one down the field, and I don't know what happens here, but I mean, this looks like the defensive back could have basically fair caught it with how open he is. Don't know exactly what went so wrong on this play. I'm assuming someone ran a wrong route. That's usually what happens when someone gets this open, but nonetheless, this one gets easily intercepted, which I have to say, because it was so high, Malik Neighbors was able to kind of make a play on it, so still good job to make sure you hold that one in, take advantage of the break that you get, right? So now the Cowboys get another chance. So we then have this situation. There's 2 minutes left in overtime. And again, keep in mind, like, if no one scores here, it will be a tie, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but obviously you want to make sure that you can get the victory here. So Prescott, this might be his last chance to come away with a victory. If you don't score here, odds are it's probably going to be a loss or a tie. You see, he's going to take the snap, he's going to look down the field, and ultimately it's going to be George Pickens, the guy who they traded for, who, everyone says, don't trade for former Steelers receivers, right? Whenever the Steelers call you and say, we want to trade you a receiver, you hang up the phone, because a lot of times it doesn't work out. Well, here, again, Pickens, he has his quirks, he has his negatives, but this is a clear positive. Great throw from Prescott, great route, and good catch from Pickens. And just like that, they're in field goal range. It'd be a 60-yarder, which for a lot of teams is not field goal range. For the Dallas Cowboys, especially in a dome, that's easily in field goal range, but you don't want to have to try and rely on a 60-yarder, right? And especially when on this next play, you're going to see Prescott starts to get in trouble right here. And you're like, okay, 60-yarder, if you take a sack, like, okay, yes, Aubrey, amazing. You'd probably try a 67-yarder if that's what you have to do. That's not what you want to have to try and do, is try to, kick a record-breaking field goal, even if you think your kicker has an opportunity to pull it off. But as you see, Prescott is going to find a way to not just avoid the sack, but he rushes, picks up a good amount of yards on top of this, and now it's, a very easy, very convertible field goal right here. You see, this is what it's going to be. Brandon Aubrey time once again. I have to say, kind of surprising that they just go for the field goal on a 46-yard attempt. That would be considered crazy, in a different situation. And granted, you have the clock to worry about. They could have tried to hurry up and spike the ball and get another play. Prescott was down with about 30 seconds left. But they decide, let's just run it out here. So there are two options. Either which I have to say, Giants probably should have, I guess, maybe called a timeout. I guess it's debatable, right? Because if you do call a timeout, it gives the Cowboys more time to try and figure something else out, get closer to the, down the field. Maybe you want them to try and just kick the 46-yard field goal, but maybe you force them to run a play and you get a sack and you can win the game that way, right? I don't know. That's just another little interesting thing. But ultimately, the Cowboys decide, let's go wait till 4 seconds, kick a field goal for the win. And as you see, there would be no tie. The Cowboys do pull off this victory. Talk about just an insane game. Scott Hansen on Red Zone said it had been decades since a game where the Giants were playing in Dallas aired in the early slot at the 1 p.m. Eastern time slot. Well, I guess of course, just as the football gods would have it, it ends up in one of the greatest games you'll ever see.